I was having a word with one of my friends last night. She recently crossed 1 lakh rupees a month, and that's where she asked me this question, and I thought like this deserves a video, and that was, when do I know that it's time to increase my rates and it's time to charge more from the client? Now this is a very interesting thing because for the longest time I also didn't do it. I was going on a one simple rate. Like in the first 16-17 months, yeah, it took me 16 months to had my first 1 lakh rupee a month. Before that I was always in the 5 figures, and even after doing that, for the first year I wasn't able to charge from the existing clients and increase my rates. And that's where I figured out that you need to actually sort this thing out. So number one thing, when do you know it's time to increase the rates? When you see that the company you're working with, the client you are working with, they are visibly making more money. Now, if you're on the inside and you have no idea about how the finances look, how the other stuff is going on, everyone you would be working with would have something to sell. If they don't have anything to sell, then it becomes really difficult. So if your client has something that he or she is selling, indirectly or directly, whatever the case is, because if you're working with a life coach, and I'm assuming that life coach would have an offer or stuff like that. If she has that, that's fine. If she doesn't have that, then what you need to do is you need to get on more clients who have something to offer. Now this thing is only applicable when your client literally has a course or stuff like that they can sell, or consultations or physical products or stuff like that, because in that case it becomes really easy. But if you're working with just a client for visibility and stuff like that, there you can give it a shot, but I have personally tried it and the results are not that good. But if your client has a course or stuff like that, something that they are selling, physical or service or over the internet or drop shipping, whatever, in that case, my friend, as soon as you see these guys are making more money, how will you find that? The socials, they never lie. If you see their social presence increasing, more leads flowing in, more inquiries coming in, the comment section is getting heated up, and visibly you can see inside the department only, and from the tonality and body language when you get on calls and stuff like that, you realize whether the thing is going right or not. Because most of the founders and most of the guys who are selling something, when things are not going right, they're in a spiral always. As soon as something is right, you can see it on the face. You can literally see it on the face. You just need to see it closely. Check out that. And if you find out that yes, things are going good here, that's when you realize that now it's the time to ask for more. And this is an implied condition. If whatever you did helped them get at that point in any sense, you are eligible to get a piece of the pie. You should get a piece of the pie. You can ask for it. As a standard baseline, every 3 months, if you are a newbie, every 6 months, if you are in the industry for the last 6 to 12 months and you have credible results and a good portfolio, and your clients are really getting money out of the services that you are providing them, 3 months for you. For beginners, 6 months, and for guys like you that I just mentioned, 3 months. Revise your rates. Percentage you can decide. Standard percentage would be 10, so that you go with 10%. Given you can only charge more when you are making the business more. So if the business is not making much, you can't ask for money. You only open your mouth when you have visible proof and you are confident that the business is making more money and you are contributing to it, and now it's time to raise the rates. Don't mix it with other two things. When I say you raise the rates, that simply means you raise the rates for literally the same amount of services that you have been offering, not for new services. No. Here we are talking about the same service that you are selling for the last few days or weeks or months to that client, and now with that service, you realize that the business is expanding, so I can also increase my rates. That is the thing we are talking about here. Now, there will be two possible scenarios. First, the client would happily agree to the increase because they realize that what is it and what it isn't, and they will just do it. Second is, they will do some tantrums and stuff like that. That's where you introduce that new offer. Okay, for the current service, you can't pay me extra 10%, 20%. Fine. I have this new thing that I learned that I can bring into the business that will help you make more money, and for that I'm gonna charge this much money. Now will you be open to that? You gotta give a shot. See, when you were a kid, no one gives a silent kid anything. You always had to throw tantrums. Even if you had to signal that you are hungry, you would have to throw a tantrum or cry. And now this is an industry where everything is around money, services, and intangible results. This is not something, you are not a builder, contractor, that you are doing all that construction kind of thing and you are seeing that building coming right in front of your eyes. This all happens online. That's the beauty and the scary part of it. And that's where you realize that you only make more when you ask for more. Now, what is the worst that's gonna happen? No one gives literally two fucks about you that you ask them to increase the rates. They would not be like that you are so greedy and other than that. They have other things to take care of, dude. So you always got to take your shot every quarter. if you are an intermediate, beginners, every 6 months you need to take a shot. You need to take a shot. That's when you will realize. And most of the times what will happen is, because this is what happened with me. When I tried to increase the rate, I was like, let's increase it. They were more than willing to do it. So with one client, I raised 10%. With the other client, I like, let's raise 15%. And he was like, done. I was like, damn. And that's where when I at one point I was catering to 6-7 clients and I ran this experiment up to 20%. I was able to. I went on to multiple of 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. As soon as I quoted 25, the other client was like, nah, that is not gonna happen. So with him also, I kept it at 20. So 20 became that minimal baseline for that. And as soon as one client left and I had to get another client, so my base price, if it was, for example, at that point it was $1,000, the base price became $1,200. And with that new client, I worked for 6 months for $1,200. Then again, you bump it up by 20%. So that's how you realize. That's how you do these minute tricks and stuff, so that you know where you are standing. The problem is you are not doing a lot of things. I'm not saying you're not doing the work. You're doing the work, that is fine. But apart from the work, what else are you doing? These are the nitty-gritties that you need to fix to keep your machinery up to date. Now, all the things that I've told you in the last 2 months, be honest. When was the last time, or when was the first time you heard it? And you would have heard it probably from me, because even I haven't heard it from anyone else in my circle operating from the Indian boundaries or even in the Asian region. Whatever I'm telling you, that is literally a standard practice in the American and European markets. It's literally how those guys operate. How our guys operate, that is very different. That's why you see Tesla is really successful in the States. Tesla is literally struggling to sell here because our markets are different. But thanks to Lord Internet, you don't have any geographical boundaries or definitions like Tesla. You don't have to put your entire manufacturing plant or ship or get CBUs or stuff like that in. You can just literally log in, hello David, hello Rogers, what's up, okay, we can do this, do that, close. Why not? Don't you like money? If you like money, you have to stick around to this channel. And if you want to make even more money, well, newsletter is the only place that I would guide you to at this point of time. My website is still under development. So once that would be out, then website, I'm telling you, that shit is gonna blow everyone's mind. Like, I'm putting in that kind of stuff there. As soon as my website is out, I'll tell the newsletter guys firstly, obviously. But as soon as that thing is out, I'm telling you, all these chart papers and here, like I'm just building out stuff. Let me show you these notepads, this entire chart paper that I'm filling right now here. I don't know how much you can see or not, but once that thing is gonna come out, that's gonna be phenomenal. I'm telling you, I have bigger plans for 2026. So up until that time, subscribe my newsletter. I'll see you inside there. Implement these things and tell me in the comment section what was the thing that actually hit home for you.